Hey everybody, how you doing today? This is Mandy with Inky Enchantments. Thank you for joining me on my live. I know not everybody's here yet, and that's okay. I This is my first time navigating to a live on Facebook, so I apologize that it took me a few minutes to get going. It's now 2:09, and I promised I was going to start at 2 o'clock. But it is what it is. It's my first time, so to get into this live, my painting did sell, and I'm so excited. I keep saying it. I'm super excited. It's the first sale on my new website, inkyenchantments.com. So I was really happy about that. Um, that's okay though, as far as the light is concerned, because we are still gonna make some jewelry. Let me just adjust this camera. I'm sorry if you get queasy. Let's just go down a little bit more like that. Okay. All right. I don't want to bump it again or touch it to stop it from moving. It'll just have to stop in a second. Okay. So what I have here are a few pieces that I have been working on. Um, I found this little cute dot, and I think it's from. Oh gosh, you really can't see, can you? Hold on, let me adjust that. I wonder if I just turn this light off, if it will be any better. So don't mind my super creaky chair as I try to adjust this. There we go. Okay. Well, I can see it. I hope you can see it too. But anyway, here's one of the little pieces I had planned on making jewelry out of, and I didn't last time. So maybe I'll use it today. Who knows? Let's just get in here and find out. I'm not going to take the painting off of the wall to show you which one it was that sold. It's called River. It's all over my TikTok and it's all over my Facebook page and everything. So, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and move on to some of the other pieces I have and kind of decide what to use. Here are some little art cards that I thought maybe we could do a little bit of drawing later, um, if I feel like it, depending on how things are going. This is one of the pieces that I did quite a while ago, and I started to doodle over the top of it. I might go ahead and use this, or at least some little pieces of it. This one I think would be fun to do some more doodling on top of. Um, Let me see if I can turn it in a way you can see. Uh, I had done the neurographic lines and then put silver paint over the top of it, thinking that might be pretty cool. I really like the piece, but it needs more lines on top now because the silver paint did not actually. Um, I guess it made the lines more dull. So maybe we can do some more neurographic lines on that and use it. This is a practice piece that I did. It was just a piece of cardstock that I kind of kept with me at my desk while I was watching YouTube videos for different techniques over the course of like a week or something. So it's definitely a mishmash of a whole bunch of stuff. But it does have elements that I think are great for jewelry pieces. Um, it's just not a whole painting of like one thing or another. Um, so here's another one that I had gotten started with. I probably won't use that one today. I might just go ahead and set it aside. Um, oh, and then here's the little. This is this is on regular paper, so it's not going to be used for jewelry. But this is a piece from Digital Angels AI, and the lady who runs Digital Angels AI and Digital Diablos AI is my friend, and she makes the most adorable coloring pages. So if you want to check her out, you could also do that. I do some coloring videos with her stuff. This piece I'm not going to chop up. I like it too much right now. So that's just a Neurographica Tree of Life. Let me see what else I have in here. Um, yeah, this one's not finished or completed to the point where it could be used yet. This one's on regular paper because I was just doodling, but it's a little mushroom fairy house. And this one obviously isn't getting chopped up ever. I probably won't even ever sell the original. I love it too much. So yeah, okay, that's what we have to work with. I'm gonna put all of these away. We're not gonna be using this one. I just don't think that the paper would hold up very well with the glue, even though it gets like sealed in the bezel. I don't feel like it would be the greatest. So I wonder how many I could get out of this one. Let's go ahead and start there. Okay, so here's the one. That's where this came from. Right there, I think. Yeah. So here's how this works. I just covered up the light source. Okay, here are the cabochons and bezels. This is a cabochon. It's a little glass. It's almost like those little things you can put in like a fish tank, but it's flat on one side and then it's just barely under an inch. And that's because the inside of this is 1 inch. And so it has to be able to, be glued into there. So they all have to be cleaned really well. Right now, we're just going to start with the cabochons. I'll show you how to clean them. I'll show you kind of the whole process. I don't know, how many should I do? Let's go with 10 for today. And then a little bit of drawing. And then I'll finish them because it goes in, you have to clean these, right? And then you have to glue them down, and then that has to dry to where it's pretty well dried. And then they go on a necklace. I'll show you how it looks. There we go. So that's a completed one. This is the one that I held back for myself because I loved it so much. I figure wearing one around is just as good of advertisement if somebody asks where you got it from, right? Okay. So what I have, oh, I put my paper towel clear over there. My bad. I thought I was prepared. Anyway, you just use some paper towel and rubbing alcohol and clean off the glass very well. So I just kind of rub the flat side on there, and then the curved side, you kind of have to pick it up to do that. But then I set it curved side down so that the flat side can dry. That's the side you're going to be gluing. And you want that to be very dry and not have any kind of smudges from your surface either. So you just kind of clean them up, and it doesn't take very long. So I got hired at a company nearby here where I live. And I was posting pretty regularly, but that might change a little bit over the next couple of weeks as I get used to this job. I'm going to try to still continue to post at least regularly, although maybe not as much for the first couple of weeks because there's going to be some adjustment and whatever. So just know that going in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have some stuff going on. So, okay, let's go ahead and set this aside. Now my hands smell like alcohol, you guys. It's kind of gross. Okay, this glue that I have, I put it in a little bottle that has like the needle point um, applicator. I'll show you the glue. It's art glitter glue. It doesn't have glitter in it, in case you're wondering. It dries completely clear. It's a permanent glue, and I've found that it works really, really well for making this kind of jewelry. But this is a refill bottle, and it comes just without anything. So I just kind of peeled this up a little bit and poured it into that little bottle, and the bottle works very well. I got it on, I think, Amazon for like, they were like $1 a piece, and I got a 2-pack, so it was like $2 for both of them. Get my phone out of the way here. I'm gonna try to figure out music so that when I'm doing lives or just videos in general, um, we'll have a little bit of music. But right now I don't have that set up. It has to be like royalty free or in the public domain for it to work for all platforms. So if I make a video using YouTube's creator mix, I don't want it to end up getting flagged on Kick, you know. So let's just go ahead and place this down and kind of move it around a little bit, right, to figure out what looks good. I think that looks good right there. And then it doesn't take a ton of this glue. I hope that's not blurry for you guys. It looks okay on my end, but that doesn't mean it does on yours, so I'm sorry if it's blurry. Oh, come on. Now the glue's stuck. Okay. What's really going on here? But you just got clumped up behind the nozzle. There we go. Okay, now that's a mess. But at least it's free. Okay, we should be good now. Let's just have like all the things go wrong on my first live. That way I don't have to deal with it on my second. Is that how this works? Watch somebody come walking through the door next. Okay, so I'm not too worried about having like little gaps in between the glue and everything because or even bubbles, because when I press down and hold it down, that stuff should clear up. So I'm just gonna put it down where I said I wanted it, and then press. And I don't know if you can see. I hope you can see the little bubbles start to like run away. You probably can't because my finger's in the way, and the surface under here isn't very stable, so I'll have to fix that next time. But here we go. So there's the cabochon placed down, and I just need to hold it for a little bit and give it some time. I'm going to clean up that pin while that happens, and then kind of clean up around the edge because I got some glue on the outside of it. It's not too big of a deal. I do like to kind of keep it clean because it makes the cut when I go to cut this, it'll make it a little cleaner. And now I just have to kind of wait until I feel like it's going to be glued down well. I can kind of take you through some of the products that I use while we're waiting for this, though. Um, Sometimes I do use the circle punch, the 1 inch circle punch. Like that's how I got this one. But I found that if I glue it directly to the paper and then let it dry and then cut around it, it actually works better because when I use the circle punch, I have to glue this into the bezel first and then glue the cabbage on top of it. It takes forever to dry that way. Um, so during that time, what can happen is like the lines, if you've used ink, and I use ink for everything. Um, this is this is all ink here. This is all India ink. So during that time, either the ink can start to come up, or sometimes the paints will start to bleed a little bit. And I've never had anything um, get ruined. It actually, I had a couple pieces come out looking cooler for it, but it isn't what I intended to make in the first place, and so I would rather just have what I intended to make in the first place happen. Um, there we go. So that's holding very well now. It's actually started to dry quite a bit. Um, Let me just grab something to put underneath of it so that it'll be a little more stable. This is just a foam board. It's not actually a table, so yeah, that's fun. But I do have a surface that I can just put underneath of it for now. It's another one of those light boards. I'll just stick it under here. Then when I press down, it's going to have something flat under there. So I kind of like this right here. Or maybe up a little higher and not get the black ink really in the center of it. I'll probably run out of things to talk about if I do 10 pieces, but we'll see. See how far we get. I might not do 10, I might just only do 5 and then do some drawing. It's all a learning process anyway. Okay, I got way too much glue on that one. And like I said, that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything, but it makes it easier for when I go to cut it if it isn't covered with glue right there. And then it doesn't really matter yet if there's glue up on the edge or anything, um, because I can clean that off with alcohol and a Q-tip later on. As long as you can, like, as long as it's on a smooth enough surface, this glue will come off if you clean it up sooner rather than later. So, like, along the edge of the glass, it's fine. And it does get on your fingers and kind of get everywhere, so, you know, it is what it is. So, another one of the tools that I've been enjoying lately, I've got a package of 6 of the white paint pens, and it's Zayar brand. It really doesn't matter what brand you get. If you're looking to get into this kind of artwork, just get whatever you want. These were what was cheap. I have the black ones as well, but I lost the package. I mean, it's in my art stuff somewhere. But yeah, if you're looking to get started in making art, just get a hold of what you can. It doesn't have to be extra expensive or extra fancy, and it doesn't have to be the cheapest stuff either. Um, just like these acrylic paint markers, I probably won't be getting them the next time I buy acrylic paint markers, but there's plenty of them and they're fine. They work just fine. There's like metallics and glitter and matte colors and all kinds of stuff. Let's see, glass, ceramic, porcelain, wood, canvas, metal, plastic, stone, paper, and more. So you can use it on so many different things. I think you can use it on water bottles and stuff, but I don't know how long it would last in that setting. But it's been a fun set to have and to work with. I used it on this painting. I've used it on River, and I've used it on a few other little projects, not anything for my website or anything. Okay, that looks like it's gonna stay now. Let me move something over here so that I have something to talk about for the next one. Okay, we'll get into this box next. I know you guys will like that if you're here watching for the jewelry. That's my jewelry box. Okay, what do we think now? Oh, I like that. It just kind of flops down in a really cool spot. So let's do this next. I'm not used to having to remember to put things in front of a camera. That's a new development for me. So if I'm off camera, I apologize. I will get better about it. Oh, that's going to look cool. Just get that cleaned up a little bit. This glue is really very sticky. It kind of looks like Elmer's, but it's not anything like Elmer's. So know that going in if you decide to buy some. It also lasts a really long time unless you don't put the lid on correctly and squeeze it out the side like me. Um, this is, I think, a 2 ounce bottle, and I refilled it once, and it's only to here. I've made hundreds of pieces of jewelry. You'll see. Um, all right, that looks pretty good. Um, so I'll show you some of the jewelry that I've already made. This painting. So I at first did. Where's it at? This one, and I made it specifically for jewelry with small marks and lots of them. Um, and it reminded me of Gryffindor house colors, and it's not exact, you guys. This is just interpretive here, but especially with that blue in it, um, which kind of looks green over some of that gold, and I really love that. But it just reminded me of Gryffindor, and so I thought, okay, well, I could do the rest of the house colors, my own interpretation of them. So this is Hufflepuff, and it isn't really Hufflepuff, but it reminded me of Hufflepuff. Um, so there's those ones, and there's 20 per batch. Let me show you Ravenclaw. This one I think probably looks the most like its house because of the bronze, which I mixed myself. I just love the way they came out. They are really pretty in the bag. It's probably not the best way to show it, but they're really very pretty. These ones remind me of Slytherin. And this is an ink drawing that I did actually before the Gryffindor ones, but it didn't really remind me of Slytherin right off the bat. And then I was trying to do Slytherin colors, and I went through like 4 paintings that just looked awful, and ended up deciding, okay, well, you know what? That actually does remind me a lot of Slytherin. There was actually even a snake in the painting and everything. So I decided to just go for that. Come on, little air bubble. There we go. Okay. I think I need a clean paper towel, actually. Like I said, that glue is really sticky and it gets everywhere. So, fold it up. Now I'm regretting that extra cup of coffee, you guys. Not really. How can one regret an extra cup of coffee, honestly? Okay, this just needs a little bit longer. I have another set of jewelry that I did out of a drawing. This was a Neurographica piece. It was just I just drew a heart and did Neurographica stuff. It didn't have any like specific meaning other than I was just practicing Neurographica techniques. So I made some necklaces out of that. I think those are probably the most popular ones, at least amongst the my friends and stuff that have seen them. Pardon me. So I've also got. I made one eye. That's the only one there is. I probably won't do that technique again either. So, and then there's lots of symbols, different colors and stuff. They're all listed on the website, by the way. Oh, here's my only ladybug. Isn't she kind of cool? But it was very, very tedious. So that's why I went for a different approach to creating the paintings specifically for jewelry. I don't know. Is that kind of cool or is that kind of ducky? I feel like that flower could go either way. That doesn't get the whole element there. That's kind of cool. Okay, I like that. Or do I like that better? No, yeah, I like the first spot. Let me make sure I'm in camera again. I really enjoy working with my hands and just things out of making something out of nothing, especially. I think that's probably why I always have been so fond of crochet because you're literally just taking string and making something amazing out of it. One of these days I'll have to get my strawberry bear down and show it to you guys, but I don't make them for money. I don't make them and sell them. If I make a crochet item, it's usually just for loved ones. Oh yeah, that's gonna be really cool. Okay, cool. So let's get a little deeper into the pile of necklaces here. These ones are 1/2 inch, and there's some of every painting in here. Um, they're all listed on the website as you just pick your predominant colors, and then like if there's something you're absolutely in love with, then I'll try to accommodate requests. But especially with the smaller ones, it's going to be more difficult. Um, Here's another batch of them. I have, I think, 100 of these. I think there's either 100 or 120. It's listed on the website, so I won't ever like run out and you're buying it and I don't actually have it. So it's all listed in there. Um, oh, this one. Okay, so this isn't part of the quote unquote house colors, even though that's not really accurate anyway. They're just interpretive. But this one is my favorite set of necklaces. It's so vibrant. I absolutely love these ones. So I pulled one of those out for myself and really enjoy wearing that. Okay, I think we're ready to do another one. We've done 5 already, so yeah, I'll just do a couple more. That's kind of cool with the points coming inward towards the center right there. Or maybe, ooh, maybe that one. Yeah, I think I like that. Move it up just a little bit more. Okay, what else do we have in here? There's some more of the little necklaces. Now these ones are the bezel is stainless steel. The other ones they're metal, but they're coated. Um, they're hypoallergenic, listed hypoallergenic on the website. So um, if anybody has trouble, let me know, and I won't use them again. But I have not had trouble, and I have very sensitive skin. So just at least know that. These are the rings, and you're not going to be able to see it through the package, so maybe I'll try to open it up here. Do I dare lift my hand enough to use it? Should be okay. These rings are so cool. Look at that. It's a little cat. There's way less of the rings than there are of the necklaces, but if people enjoy them, I have no problem getting more. They're more expensive, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with getting something that people really enjoy. Here are the stars. Those are my favorite. I don't know that you'll be able to see it very well, but there it is. ahead and clean this up again. Nope. I was trying to take a nosedive. Cheeky glue anyway. Okay, that looks like that's going to stay. Let's do this one. I can kind of show you guys what I mean by you have to put it into the bezel first. I kind of like this color for it. So I'm just going to re-wet my paper towel with alcohol. And then you just kind of wipe it out really good. I'm trying not to touch the inside again because you don't want to get, I mean, I have glue all over my hands and everything. So just because I probably don't have a lot of oils left on my hands doesn't mean I don't have other stuff from crafting. So I just want to be really careful about that. And then when you use the glue inside the bezel, hold on. You're going to want to make sure that you don't use too much. This one might not be ready to add the cabochon today, so you might not get to see that live because of the way when you use the circles that are already cut out, it's almost impossible to get them to stick to your cabochon and be straight. You will have a gap almost every time. So that's why I just use the glue inside of the bezel. I'm trying not to use too much. It's probably going to come out everywhere anyway. Let's go with this direction. And then start in the center. And I'm just going to hold it down for a minute. I got glue all over me. And then kind of come around the edge. Try to tuck it in without having a huge lip. There's going to be somewhat of a lip, and that's okay, but you don't want a huge one. And so you can see the glue squishing out. So I want to try to just get that off of there. And then I'm going to try to work that edge down as flat as I can into the crease of the bezel. So right along here, I can see the paper kind of sticking up a little bit, and that's okay. But imagine if it was off-centered on your cabochon and you're trying to get it down in there and it's sticking way up, on, like to where you can see it on the side. So that's what was happening when I tried to do it that way with the pieces that are already punched out. Now, here in a little bit, I'm going to come in here and cut these ones out around the edge, and it's going to be fine. But to try to get that circle onto the slippery glass cabochon is a challenge. So let's work smarter, not harder. Okay. Let me just go throw these paper towels away so I don't keep grabbing yucky ones. Then I'm going to put away all this jewelry. If you guys like this jewelry, It really helps me out a lot as a creator to, have you visit my website, and even if you just purchase one little piece or something for a gift, it helps a lot. So, so does liking and sharing and subscribing and everything. So no matter what you do, just, interact with my channel or whatever. I'm going to set this aside and then just work on a little, let's just do a drawing. Let's do this one with an acrylic marker. These are double-sided, so it has the finer tip and the wider tip. So I'm going to go ahead and use the wider tip and just do some neurographic lines. Yeah, I think that's good to start with. When you do neurographic drawings, you come to the edge and you round it out almost so that it looks like a neuron. And then you round out your corners. And what I mean by that is like you you take you go back a little bit on your line and then make it flow to the next line so that the little corner is rounded. And then like on this part, you do the same thing, just a little bloop, and make it so that it's softer. You're just softening everything up. And the reason that you do that is because your your mind, whatever you're working on mentally, likes to have those soft edges. And I'm not an expert on neurographica by any means, but I do kind of get what's going on. So I do like to play around with it. And I might not necessarily have anything specific I'm working on within myself when I use neurographica, but it's fun nonetheless, and it's very stress relieving. That's what I really love about it. They say once you have your neurographic lines down, you shouldn't let it sit too long. You should round your corners within a few minutes. So, like if you don't start rounding and then stop and go take a break. Though, you should do the roundings all at once. So I've gotten in the habit of not doing a lot of neurographic lines at once. If I decide, I'll come back and do some more later. And I found that that's helpful to me. Okay, so there's that one. This one kind of went clear out here, so you can go over your lines as much as you want to. These lines don't have to be perfect. They should be pretty random. Just like, neurons. If you're looking at neurons in a microscope, you're not going to see perfect lines. Just make sure everything is nicely rounded, and you're creating a space where your mind can heal. So if you have a problem that you can't figure out a solution to in your daily life, um, like say test anxiety, um, you can do Neurographica for a test that you're going to take the next day. And at the very least, you might not believe in that, even though it is science based. Um, you might not fully understand it or fully believe in it, but it's going to reduce your stress level anyway. So just enjoy it and take a moment for yourself. This one, I'm not sure if I'm going to be left with much of a space here. I might just have to color it all the way in. No, it'll be okay. Oh no, because of that one. Okay, I'm just going to color it in. I have no idea if that's the right thing to do in Neurographica either, you guys. So, like I said, I'm not an expert. I just enjoy um, using it in my art. I think even if you don't have anything specific to work on, just the act of doing neurographic lines in an abstract piece is very relaxing, and you might probably find something to work on anyway. There's all kinds of stuff to explore with Neurographica. It's actually my goal to take the official Neurographica course and become a Neurographica instructor. Who knows when that will happen, but I'm working on it. Have a little savings plan going for it. It's kind of expensive for me, maybe not for everybody, but it is for me. It's like I think $7,600. So anytime you have something that's like as expensive as a used car, you probably are going to take a minute to plan and save for it. These are so squeaky. It's like ASMR drawing stuff. So as I go into this new job, I'm really hoping I can still at least have the energy to work on some kind of art every day. But the first at least week, maybe two, I'm not even going to worry too much about trying to post. I'm just going to concentrate on getting everything settled in. There will be posts, of course, but I'm not going to make any promises about exactly, um, posting on time or anything like I have been trying to do. Um, it's just going to kind of have to be an organic process. All right. Let's see. This little foot needs a little neuron on it. Oh, I missed one over here. I think I'm getting there, though. I think some of the Neurographica that I've seen where people are using a pen is a lot cooler. But it is what it is. I like the thick lines. And like I said, I'm not doing it as necessarily as a therapeutic practice. I'm just doing it for, you know, for the fun of it and for the aesthetic of it. Let me check on these. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Now you know I don't have handy is my scissors. Wait. We're in luck. Okay. So now this is the most recent one I did. I'm going to leave it alone for a minute. I'm just going to kind of come up here and cut out these two pieces and get started there. Well, I think I just bumped the camera. I'm sorry. Just chop that guy right in half. And then, so here's all I do. I just come up and put the scissor against the cabochon and just gently, slowly turn the scissor as I'm cutting. And this is why I say it's easier, I think, when you clean up the glue around the cabochon, because if I hadn't, it would be way too thick for these tiny scissors, and then I'd have to get out the big scissors, which is fine. It's whatever, but I need to clean this edge up a little bit. Well, maybe I have to do it from this side. That's okay. There we go. Just kind of try to keep it neat. And now I don't have any gapping around the cabochon, which I would if I tried to just glue a round dot to the back of the glass. So there's one. I actually really like this one. Well, these scissors need a little oil. I hope you aren't annoyed by that squeaking. I just barely got them off of Amazon, so this is the first time I've used them. I was using the big ones before, and that was a pain, so I ended up picking these up. This one's super cute. It reminds me of the sort of beachy colors that we used to wear as kids back in the 80s. I'm going to try to go around some of these parts that might end up being used at another time for jewelry. Because like this is pretty cool right here, so I'm going to try to like go around it and not totally destroy it. And then same over here, like that part's pretty cool, so I'll just try to like swoop around here. And whether I come back to this piece and use it for jewelry or not, who knows, but at least I'll have the option. There we go. Another thing I like about this method more than cutting out the circle punches is this is going to fit a little bit better than the punch. Because like I said, the cabochon is just under an inch and the punch is exactly an inch. So inside of the bezel is just barely under an inch to accommodate like the bezel or a cabochon. So anyway, I think it feels like it fits better when you're putting it together. And I first saw this jewelry technique when I was watching acrylic pour painting, and one of the artists that I follow makes this same kind of jewelry out of the paint skins. Because you can come up with some really cool paint skins. And you're like, well, what do I do with this? It looks so cool. You don't want to throw it away, right? And that's when they start using them as jewelry. So I was like, well, I don't do pour painting, but I can do paintings for jewelry. Let's pick out some bezels. Let's do white for this guy. And then kind of like silver for that one. Gold for that one. Kind of like white for this one. That one, let's do I kind of like the darker bronze for it. So I need one more. I put the other ones away, so I'll have to clean another cabochon for this guy right here. Yeah, it should be okay. It's going to take like 3 days for it to dry, and I don't know what the big difference is, really. But there definitely is one. So let me just grab a new paper towel. All right. So let's break out the art glitter glue again. And we're just about wrapped up. I wasn't sure how long all of this was going to take me because I don't usually film any of this part. And I kind of just do it in stages. let's just go ahead and do just like I did before when I was putting the little piece of the painting first. Just kind of get some glue in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you have to decide like which way do I want up, like where the little piece here is up. So do I want to do it to the side like that? Do I want to go like that? I think I kind of like having it almost like a pyramid. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to take one side and press in one direction, okay? And I've got some glue here, so you want to pretty quickly take care of that. How did I get red? Where did the red come from? I have no idea where that red came from, but there's definitely red there. So these are just painted with acrylic anyway. What I'll do is I'll come back over. Do I have red on my hands? I don't. Anyway, I'll just come back over it with some acrylic paint that's permanent acrylic paint, um, and sort of cover up that little bit of red right there. And you won't be able to tell at all. But there you go. There's one piece done. Let's continue. And I made sure to get all of the glue from, remember when I was gluing them down, the glue will kind of squish out and it'll kind of get on the top. Oh, I missed one. Okay, we'll get one. I'll get that one later. So getting it into the corner, I think, all the way around is probably the most important part. And then just kind of spreading it out a little bit. I'm not necessarily squeezing the whole time. I'm just kind of pushing the glue around a bit. And I think I kind of like it this way. So I'll just, maybe that way. So I'll just push it in at the top and then hold it there and then sort of snap it in. It doesn't necessarily snap, but you know what I mean. You just push it down in and then come around it with the paper towel with alcohol on it and clean it all up. And you really don't have to hold them in for very long because once you have it pressed in well, the painting is going to hold it in, like it's going to hold it in place. Um, when you do it the other way, you have to hold it down longer because I had to hold the glass down on the painting, but we're doing it reversed on this one, so I'm going to have to hold that one down longer. So I've already held these down where they need to be held down. Is that something on there? You just want to make like really good and sure. Now I'll let that dry for a little bit. We'll move on to this one. Oh, I've got, like I said, this is a messy process. You're going to get glue everywhere. I think I like it like that. So this is why it's really messy. That's why you come in with the alcohol and the paper towel and clean everything really well. And it's kind of hard to do when you have glue all over your hands. So I'll have to stop here in a minute and clean the glue off my hands. These are coming out really well. The cabochon really makes the painting stand out and gives it a sort of depth that it didn't have just on the paper. So let's go for a clean paper towel. Just kind of get it ready. I think I kind of like it with the peach color at the top. So I'm going to slip it in this direction. It almost reminds me of ice cream a little bit, or maybe cake icing, kind of dripping down the edge of some kind of summery treat. There we go. I think this one's nice and dry now. How did I manage that? Oh, because the glue fell over and I picked it up. This is how it happens, you guys. This is how I'm always covered in glue. Okay. Let's just snap that one down in. Ooh, I like that. Pretty cool. Okay. We've got one more that I forgot about that was still attached to the painting. Let's go ahead and grab that one and do it before I do that one, because I'll have to hold that one for a while. So just these last two, and then I'll go ahead and stop the live. Or wrap it up, you know what I mean. I don't know why this one reminds me so much of Christmas. Maybe those little white dots in the background make it look like snow, and then just the blue, purple, gold theme reminds me of Christmas, but it sure does. Okay, we need one more bezel. And I think I'm going to go with gold because there's gold in that bit of painting. Try not to get too much alcohol on this just because we're trying to like use it now. I don't think in the grand scheme of things having ever so slightly damp from alcohol is going to do anything, because this glue will take longer to dry than the alcohol anyway. So this method you'll be dry in about 24 hours, and the other one it'll be 3 days. And like I said, I don't know what the difference is, but it absolutely does make a difference. Maybe somebody out there who's science-minded can tell me. I kind of like that. Okay. Snap it down in place. Look how cute. Absolutely love it. Okay. Now this guy right here, the glue goes on the cabochon, and you have to kind of make sure you don't have a lot of gaps. So I'm really just pushing the glue around with the nozzle right now. I'm not adding more glue. You don't want the layer to be too thick using this method because it will take like 4 or 5 days to dry. Now when you put the cabochon in, you have to chase out all the bubbles and you have to hold it down for a long time. So here we go. Okay, all the bubbles are gone. And now this glue is going to continue to seep out as I'm holding it down. Just like it did when I was holding them down onto the painting itself. The only difference is with this method, I'm having to kind of babysit it because it's in my hand and it's getting glue everywhere. Maybe that's just the biggest challenge for me is just having to kind of babysit it more. But I really enjoy making these paintings. I've always drawn, but painting is something I've only really recently gotten into. And so as I make these practice pieces, they aren't necessarily, you know, groundbreaking or anything like that. A lot of them just have a lot of different elements mishmashed together. And it's really just mostly enjoyable to create the painting and so I have been recording some of them and others I don't. I just kind of create it just to create it. Um, but the big thing for me is just trying to make something beautiful. It really, art helps you heal, and helps you process things, and it helps you fill your time in a constructive manner. And so between all of that, that's kind of what I'm going for is just to have something positive to do with my time that doesn't just leave you kind of hollow, like watching TV all the time. Even though I do art and watch TV, or I do art and listen to music or an audiobook or whatever, I still have art going for me. Um, whether I'm drawing or whether I'm testing out paints and stuff. Most of the paints I already had. I have bought a few new things. Like my son got me all of the acrylic paint markers. Um, so those are new, but the acrylic paint set that I had that I use is one that I've had around forever and I've used for all kinds of different art projects, but only recently really doing the painting. So, um, and I think a practice piece is just perfect for chopping up for making jewelry out of. Not every practice piece is going to be really cool. Like River turned out really, really cool, but they don't all turn out really cool. Okay, I think we've got it. Now it's covered in glue, and I'm going to have to clean my hands again. But just kind of take a look at like what we have left from that painting I just chopped up. There's not a lot of like super cool elements left. So and that's okay. Like and this might not ever like make it to somebody's wall, but I could probably pull like 5 or 6, pieces of jewelry off of it. And I might still make it into something else that's like really, really cool. Um, no matter how they end up, just it's really about the process. And I really enjoy that oftentimes I do get something really cool out of it. Let me go ahead and get the pin in this glue and clean my hands a little bit. This one is still covered in glue, so I've got to get it cleaned up, and I'll probably wrap it up. If you haven't liked and subscribed to my social media, go ahead and do that if you enjoy seeing my content. I certainly enjoy making it, so um, I would love it if you would join me. If you haven't checked out my website, you're welcome to do that. It's inkyenchantments.com, and that's where I sell the jewelry. And some of the paintings are drawings. River just sold, so it's going to be mailed out on Tuesday to its new home, and I'm super excited and happy about that. Let's go ahead and get these on a clean surface so you can see kind of what we did today. There we go. Thank you for joining me while I made these, and I hope you enjoy your day.